Okay, does anyone have anything they'd like to share, comment on, or ask any questions?
I had a question, Master Kim.
Go ahead.
I have been doing, let me see. I've been doing I've trained retention practices, with the sexual Qigong a lot in the past, but the last few months of my injury, I haven't done a whole lot with those practices because I haven't felt like I've just had a lot of energy for it. And when I've had time to train, it's felt better to do other things. But it's starting to feel like I'm having a desire to kind of get that, get my sexual energy up and running again, so to speak. And I'm noticing that as I'm doing it, I had a cool breakthrough with it. Well, it's kind of related to it. It was also a teaching I got from Sifu Neuhaus in his Neigong class that I never really understood or never really clicked until earlier this week, where I actually felt like my spine, like I could squeeze it like toothpaste all the way up. And usually it takes some like awareness and some third eye. I need to kind of prime it, but then I can usually get back to feeling like I'm squeezing my actual spine and like squeezing the toothpaste up the spine. And found naturally with the retention and bringing the sexual energy up the spine, it's worked really well. But what I've noticed is last night I was like, where is my sexual energy? It's just not engaging. It's just not here. And that was kind of disappointing for me. And I was like sort of thinking about it and looking at it, and I realized I felt like I had like shot it all up to my head and there wasn't any left. And I'm pretty sure that's what happened, because once I determined that, I was like, oh, well, then maybe I can like drop it back down the front. And I was like, okay, there it is. And it's turned on a little bit, but not as much as I would have liked. And so I just kind of was wondering if
there's a correlation.
Yeah, if there's another correlating practice to like bring it down, or if when you're doing also, I'm wondering when I'm sending it up my spine, are you supposed to send all of it, or are you supposed to you're probably just supposed to explore, right? But as far as like best strategies for cultivating more energy, do you like only send a little bit and like keep some in your genitals so it will accumulate, or do you send it all up and then bring it all back down? So that's my question.
Okay, so you can hear in your question a lot of control. Like, look at do you leave some here, and then do you send like some of it up, or do you send it all up? Or can you hear like how much control there is, like in your verbiage of thinking about this?
Yes.
Does that give you a hint?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
So let's actually bring the awareness to the more important thing. Since everything we're doing is, it is about control, but it's not control based, right? The foundation is based on letting go and being natural and being balanced, and where you let things happen. And and it was kind of interesting, like I know the answer should be exploration, and actually this kind of interesting. Exploration is necessary for proper control, but control is only actually really of any use if the body's balanced. So exploration is actually really there to just feel the balance of the body. What feels balanced? That's the real question that's being asked. What feels balanced, isn't it? If we
Yeah.
really think about it.
Yes.
So the real question is, what feels balanced? And that's actually really what we're struggling with, actually. What feels balanced? That's what we're really exploring. So I want to start there, because I feel like if we start there, you know, I feel like that's a good starting point. Because if the starting point is there, so you're looking for a result, and you're looking for a result, looking at control, and you're looking at result without the perspective of balance, and kind of like the reason that's actually not a good idea. And then you're also looking at exploration from a perspective of control, from, if I'm not mistaken. And so it's kind of like, what would allow me to get better results? But let me tell you why the exploration exists from a perspective of balance. So in order to have control, like the toothpaste, if the toothpaste is empty, can you squeeze it up?
No.
It's like, there's no point. Why would you even do that? That's empty. So balance actually means that your body is full and it's filled. Would there be any point of looking at any of this if the body wasn't filled?
No.
So if your body doesn't have enough fuel, then the first thing we need to do is make sure that it's got enough fuel to have any control with. So now, if we're approaching it from this perspective, it's starting to make a little bit more sense, right? So we need to first make sure that there is any toothpaste in the toothpaste container before we even squeeze it up. So your observation now, here's the good news. Your observation was good. You realize, oh, it's all shot up to my head. There's nothing down there. And I was like, that's not good. But then the question wasn't, but why? Why is there nothing down there?
Yeah.
And why did it all go up? And did that feel good?
It did feel good when I was doing it. When it was going up, it felt great.
Right? Okay, but then did it feel good after?
No.
So something was missing. So what that means is that exploration was good. It helped you understand, oh, something was slightly imbalanced. I'd like to feel it being full down there while it's also still going up there. Right? Like I say,
Yes.
what up? So that kind of exploration is the exploration of inner cultivation, or what we call negon. And that's why it tends to lead to such good health, because fundamentally it seeks balance. And from balance, when you have proper control, there's good control. It's like, if there's toothpaste in the toothpaste case and you squeeze it, then you can squeeze it up and there's good control. So I wanted to just handle that first. So that's the first thing. So exploration needs to be looked at within the perspective of balance, and just kind of noticing where you want more balance. Not, people would say not where you're lacking balance, but more where you want more balance. That's a better way to look at it. Because if you start looking at where you're lacking balance, then you can fall into the trap of finding more and more things wrong with you. When really the purpose of the whole thing is for you to find more balance. I was like, oh, I can feel like I want more balance down there. How do I get more balance down there? Instead of saying, wow, I'm really lacking balance down there. what's wrong with them? Did you see how that question, the second question actually doesn't help,
Yes.
right? Because
Yes.
your mind stops with the problem and then seeks more problems. And it's like, instead of like, oh, I want more balance down there, I can tell, like, oh, if you do say, oh, balance is lacking, then you want to say, oh, balance is lacking down there. I want more balance down there. What would allow me to get more balance down there? Now, I can tell, like, your body's already responding just from the question,
Yes. I
right?
can feel it too.
Yeah. Wasn't it interesting? Just a question, and you already feel like you know what you feel like you already know what you need to do. So tell me, what is it that you need to do?
Well, I mean, what I'm feeling right now, what I'm experiencing this moment is just like my energetic testicles and like filling them with chi, like doing the permeation breath, or kind of like feeling the chi spinning and then like pouring into them from the universe.
Ah, very good. That is a very good way to go about doing that, right? So just that exploration already takes you in the right direction. And so now that's one of the reasons why there are so many different Taoist systems and Taoist techniques, because there are actually a lot of different ways to approach it. And depending on who you are and where you're at, how you go about doing that actually changes. And that's where the exploration comes in. Now, however, now let's actually get into theory. And this is why I don't start with the theory, because then everybody tries to do the theory. They try and just control it. So what I would say is that actually the first thing you need to actually wake up is that's actually one of the reasons why the system has such an emphasis on the Dantian. And actually, if you go into the the yogis or yoga or the yogic systems, you'll notice that they have a huge emphasis on awakening the kundalini or awakening the base. The reason is because if the base is not awakened, then you have nothing to send up there. Or if you do, you end up depleted like you experienced. So in the Taoist system, we say that basically you don't have a strong enough Dantian. And so as you basically get a firm Dantian, it has to be founded upon your Huiyun or the perineum. And so naturally, it actually happens as you fill up your Dantian, you get a strong base. And so when your Dantian is full, it's actually evidence that you have a strong base. Now, sometimes it doesn't happen. In that case, you need to problem solve and you need to actually just make sure you have a strong base. And the inner heat can really not be actually that good unless your base is properly engaged or your perineum is. So actually, as a matter of fact, in certain systems, they will actually have you breathe into your perineum and have your perineum engage or your base engage as you're breathing in, and then have your dantian fill up from there. And so, and that's very effective. And it's one of the reasons why actually on Friday when we're doing the dantian exploration, you'll notice that right now I'm having people explore breathing in from the anus up to the dantian, and then actually also from the anus to basically the belly button, and then the dantian, and then the pubic bone, and then the huiyin, and then the mingmen. And the reason is because you need to actually get a sense of what it's like to breathe into all those areas so that you naturally actually breathe into those areas so that they fill. Now, if we use Western science, sexual energy or erection has, for males, but also really actually for females, has a huge correlation to PC muscle, which is actually what we would call the huiyin from a physiological perspective. And actually, if you don't have good engagement in there, you actually don't have good engagement in your body. You don't have very good blood flow to your pelvic area. And so your pelvic area, your base is weak. And so what you will notice is that your blood flow down to your sexual organs, whether you're female or male, is not very good. And so you will, for females, female will experience a decrease in the ability for the vagina to tense and be tight. And actually, because of that, ironically, the lack of circulation will make it less wet, and actually the orgasms won't be as strong, because how strong an orgasm can be is actually dependent upon how strong a contraction can be. And then for males, that will actually prevent you from having a stronger erection. And so one of the reasons of erectile dysfunction is your PC muscle getting weak, because there are a few exercises that actually strengthens your PC muscle. So one of the key important factors of pressurized breathing is to make sure that your PC muscle engages as you breathe, especially over time. And that is called Kundalini breathing. And when it gets strong enough, actually, and you can engage your PC muscle properly, and the three major PC muscles, but you need to be able to engage all three from front to back, actually. And you can go and actually just look that up on the internet. But essentially, if you engage your muscle from the front, from right behind your pubic bone, and so for males, an easier way to look at it is from right behind your testicles, or where your testicle joins your torso towards your anus, and you feel that engagement. And when it happens, your penis actually kind of rises, or you can raise your penis. And for females, will feel the vagina tensing and then squeezing. And when you feel that, that is actually properly engaging, and you will actually feel like you're making a fist with your PC muscle over time. Yeah. Oh yeah. You're feeling it right now, aren't you? That's
Yes.
good. Yeah. That's really good.
So can I ask a confirmation question?
Yes.
So the three PC muscles, if you can isolate like the area right behind your testicles, your anus, and your tailbone, and squeeze those individually, is that the three PC muscles?
Yeah. That's good.
So then you just squeeze from front to back and make sure they're all engaged.
Yeah, just from front to back.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's like it just becomes like too much. And then over time, you can start consciously pumping blood into your penis, and for females into the vaginal area, so that the inside, for females, the inside of the vagina, or the vagina becoming plump, is basically the equivalent of an erection, or the erection is an equivalent of the vagina becoming plump. And that, that's kind of like the sexual health goal, because that's when it feels the best. And so over time, that sexual health really returns.
So it sounds like the as you're doing it, sort of one of the measuring sticks of your progress is your ability to actually pump the blood into your penis from tensing your PC muscles and using the breath.
Yes, that's correct.
I can kind of feel that. That gives me something to work on. So thank
yes.
you so much.
You're welcome. But now, see that now that I have covered all that, everyone is going to try and do it. And let me just say this. If this is actually founded upon not enough rest, not enough good food, and not enough good sleep, then you're going to be trying to squeeze a toothpaste that's empty. And so if you don't have a balanced lifestyle that lends to good health, you'll notice that these exercises are kind of futile, or they get partial results, or some people who are unlucky enough to have really good health, they'll do it and then they'll damage their health because they're squeezing something into depletion. It's one of the reasons why everything is founded upon stillness and balance. That's why I didn't start with this answer. So this is kind of the trick. So like whenever you read knowledge like this, everyone starts to implement the knowledge without understanding the consequences of the wider perspective of balance. Because it's like really exciting stuff. It's like, oh, if you read the classics, or if you learn sexual Kung Fu, the emperor, there's a text where it's basically a Q&A between an emperor and an enlightened Taoist female Taoist sexual practitioner, or a female Taoist practitioner. And this question comes up, and she says, most importantly, you need to get good rest and bring balance to your body. And she says, if you do have sex, then you need to make sure that you do sex for healing and restoration and not for excitement and pleasure, because that will deplete you even further. And you need to retain so that you're bringing balance. And so you can see the emphasis is on balance, not on performance. And the performance only comes after the body has balance. And so in Western science, that's actually a concept is like basically health and fitness, that you need to first look at health, because if you over focus on fitness, the fitness can drain your body of health, because you're basically using something that the body needs to actually use to make itself healthy, and you're depleting it. So it's kind of like burning the candle on both sides. So, okay, that probably gives a good enough picture.
Thank you, Master. That's really helpful. I was seeing especially how my view goes back and forth. It's kind of ping pongs between pride and self-pity a little bit. When I get like overexcited with the practices and get over focused, and then I have to step back and recover. So this is
really
helpful context.
I'm really proud of you for actually being able to, say that and actually be able to admit the pride and self-pity. That's actually one of the reasons why, I actually always teach about the pride and pity, because without proper pride, understanding of pride and pity, that as long as you ping pong between pride and pity, you can't really make any progress, right? And so that's really good. That's good awareness. So yeah, and that's actually what prevents us from gaining balance, because pride and pity fundamentally arises out of fear. So, okay, very good.
Thank you so much, Master.
Oh, welcome. I'm bowing back. Okay, very good. Okay, I'm close to being done with cleaning here. So does anyone else have any questions or any comments or any comment, anything they'd like to share?
I just want to say that was such a beautiful interaction and amazing teaching, super inspiring, and I hope it gets saved so that I can come back to it, because that was really, really good. Thank you.
Welcome. I'm glad. Thank you for saying that. Okay, very good. Okay. Anyone else? Okay, very good. Okay, well, everyone have a great day of exploration in view of balance. And when you have balance, I'd like to say performance will come and you will see the path. And so have a good time following your path or following your interest.
Thank you, Master Kim.
Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Kim.
Welcome. Welcome.